Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive. Really great to have you with us again as we get into the thick of things in the rugby world.
Great to be here.
So you've given us some brilliant source material today, this article, that really gives us a look at the latest Springbok squad announcement for the upcoming internationals.
Yeah, it's more than just a name list, isn't it? It shows the thinking, the challenges, and what's next for the Boks.
Exactly. And this is the official stuff from Rassie Erasmus, laying out the 45 players they've picked. It's a big step, especially after their first training sessions.
Absolutely. Looking into this article helps us figure out the why behind who's in and who's out.
Right. So our mission here is to, really dig into this article, pull out the key bits, and give you a clear picture of this squad now and what it might mean down the road. We're going beyond the headlines.
Let's do it.
And hey, if you're obsessed with rugby like we are, make sure you hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession wherever you listen. Don't miss these deep dives.
Okay, so the big picture first. The main news. Rassie's named this 45-player group, and the source says this is right after their first week of training in Joburg.
Yeah, and it mentions it's cut down from that first 55-man list that was floating around. So even after just 1 week, some key decisions have been made. They're refining things.
Well, in that first week, it wasn't just about drills, was it? The article highlights it was key for the coaches to sort of assess the depth they have everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
See who's in form, who's, at the right level physically, especially checking on injuries. That assessment, that's the bedrock for all these calls.
Makes total sense. You got to see who's fit, who's firing, and where you might have gaps or maybe too much talent before you settle on the core group.
Precisely. It's always ongoing, that evaluation. And week one, let them make those first tweaks based on what they saw right there and then.
Okay, let's talk new faces then. The article shines a spotlight on one guy in particular, Boan Venter, prop, plays over in Scotland for Edinburgh.
Yeah, Venter. What's interesting, the source points out, is his background. Former Cheetahs guy, so he knows the SA setup. He was even in a junior Bok training group years ago, 2017, I think it was.
Right.
But the key thing the article stresses is how consistent he's been for Edinburgh. In the URC, the Challenge Cup, just solid performances.
So it's not just about having SA roots, it's about performing consistently, week in, week out, wherever you play. Rassie's comments in the source really back that up. Mention his consistency and that link to SA Rugby. So they're keen to see how he fits in.
And that really makes you think about the Bok philosophy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do they balance playing overseas versus, say, playing in the URC? Venter getting picked suggests pretty strongly that if you're delivering the goods consistently, it doesn't matter where, you're on their radar.
Yeah, definitely sends a message.
It shows players abroad are still very much in the picture if they keep that standard high.
It's a powerful message, right? Form is king. And getting that call-up based on club form, that's a great story for him.
It really is. Shows that door isn't just open for the guys playing locally.
Now, the flip side, this is where it gets juicy. Who's out? Who's been released? This source article is pretty specific on names and, crucially, the reasons.
That's right. Looks like two main groups leaving this 45-man squad based on the article. First one, pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Injuries. 6 guys released because they're crocked.
6? Wow, that feels like quite a few right away. Who are we talking about?
Okay, so the list is props Gerhard Steenkamp and Atutiko Machunu. Then there's the experience center Lucanio M, Peter Steph Dutoit, the utility forward, and then 2 promising loose forwards, Cameron Hanekom and Horno Augustus.
Oof, M and Dutoit. Losing guys like that, even for a bit, that's a hit to experience, to leadership.
It definitely is. Creates an immediate need, doesn't it? Need for cover in those spots.
Yeah.
The source also adds that some guys with longer-term injuries will actually do their rehab back at their clubs, which kind of tells you those might be more serious, and they're focusing the national camp on guys who are fit or closer to returning. Makes sense logistically.
Okay, so injuries cover those 6. What about the others who were released?
Right. The article names another 5 players sent back to their unions. That's scrum half Jaden Hendrikse, his brother, fly half Jordan Hendrikse, fullback Quan Horn, flanker Renzo Duplessis, and utility back into Kozo Makaza.
And the article title specifically called out the Hendrikse brothers being cut, didn't it?
It did, yeah. That definitely jumps out as a major talking point from this announcement, releasing 2 brothers at once from the camp.
Yeah, people will talk about that one. So what was the coach's thinking there?
Well, Rassie commented on it, according to the source. He basically explained that after looking at the squad depth, the players' current form, the injuries, all that stuff from week 1, they figured out where they had enough cover for now.
For now. That feels like the key phrase there.
It's crucial. The coach's message, as reported, is that for these non-injured guys being released, the feeling is they've got good options in those positions right now. But, and this is important, he stressed they're on standby.
Ah, okay, so not completely out the door.
Exactly. Yeah. They could get called back if things change.
Yeah.
More injuries, maybe form dips, or they need a different type of player for a specific game.
Right, so it's a strategic call based on the immediate picture after that first camp. It's like saying, look, we rate you, we know what you can do, but based on who's here and fit today, go get game time, or keep developing back home for now.
Precisely. It really shows how dynamic managing a top national squad is, especially one with the kind of depth the Boks have. Players know being released isn't the end. They need to keep pushing at their unions.
Keeps everyone on their toes, doesn't it? Creates that constant competition.
Absolutely, and it shows the coach's juggling act, current form, injuries, depth, future planning. It's complex.
Yeah, finding that right mix for the games coming up, but keeping an eye on the guys waiting just outside.
Exactly.
Before we move on, just a quick reminder to subscribe to Rugby Obsession if you haven't already. We dive deep like this regularly.
Good call.
Okay, let's shift a bit to the logistics. Getting 45 guys together from all over, not simple.
No, and the source gives a bit of insight into that. Said most of the group got to Joburg the Sunday before the announcement. The Bulls guys came Monday night after their URC final.
Right.
R.G. Snyman, the big lock, was due on Tuesday. Then the guys from the English Premiership final, Pollard and Thomas Tutoy, they had staggered arrivals. One the Monday after, the other the next Monday.
Wow.
And the new guy, Boan Venter, he's joining later this month, around the 29th of June.
Man, that really shows the challenge, doesn't it? Players coming from different leagues, different hemispheres, different schedules. Can't just snap your fingers and have everyone there day one.
Definitely impacts those early sessions.
Yeah.
Getting everyone on the same page, physically and tactically, it takes time when they arrive bit by bit.
Yeah.
Shows why that first week, even with maybe not everyone there, was so vital for assessment.
Yeah, make the most of who you have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it links back to what Rassie said in the source, that first week was key for assessing depth, form, injuries. The staggered arrivals are just another puzzle piece they have to manage.
So you see the cycle. Camp allows assessment. OS assessment drives decisions on who stays, who goes on. Logistics dictates when they arrive. Coach explains it all based on that assessment and the need for depth. It's continuous.
It is. And the article lays out those connected parts pretty well, I think.
And this squad, it's been picked for a reason. The game's coming up fast. The article lists the first block of fixtures.
Yeah. First up is that Qatar Airways Cup match against the Babas, Saturday, June 28th, down in Cape Town. And the source notes, which is cool, it's the first time the Boks have played the Barbarians in South Africa.
Oh, really?
Okay.
That adds a nice bit of history to it. Always an exciting game, the Babas. Often a bit looser, could be a chance to see some new combinations maybe.
Could be. Yeah, good test run before the main incoming series starts, which kicks off with 2 against Italy.
Right. Italy first in Pretoria, July 5th, then again in Qatar on the 12th.
And then they finish this block against Georgia in Nelspruit on July 19th.
Okay, so Babas, then Italy twice, then Georgia. 4 games pretty quickly. That's the immediate target for this 45-man group. It's where the training gets tested and where we get our first proper look at the team this season.
Absolutely. It's a huge chance for the coaches to try things out, tweak the strategy, and for players to really stake a claim.
Yeah.
Either for a starting jersey or just getting into that match day 23. And each opponent is different. Right. Different styles that Stolboks test different parts of their own game.
This is where that competition really ramps up. It's not just training anymore, it's playing for your spot.
Exactly. And getting minutes, especially for maybe guys who are on the edge or new guys like Venter, that's massive for their growth and for the squad's overall depth.
Now, the article, it did list all 45 names. We're not going to read them all out, obviously.
No, that'd take a while.
But it's worth pointing out, looking at that list, you really see the global spread of Bokke talent. Guys from the Stormers, Bulls, Sharks, Cheetahs locally, but then loads from overseas too.
Yeah, England, France, Ireland, Scotland, Japan. Clubs like the Wild Knights, Sale, Bath, Edinburgh, Munster, they're all represented in there.
It just underlines that point about assessment, doesn't it? The coaches are watching everywhere. Bringing in the best guys, no matter where they play club rugby, shows the depth.
It really does. Quite something, the quality of SA players playing all over the world.
And adds another layer of complexity for the coaches, right? Managing guys used to different club systems.
Definitely.
Okay, let's try and pull this all together then. Wrapping up this deep dive on the Bokke squad news, what are the main takeaways from the source?
Well, we've got the 45-man group confirmed after that initial camp. Some key ins, like Boan Venter getting his shot based on form abroad.
Right.
And some significant outs, the injured guys like Am and Dutoit, but also others like the Hendrikse brothers, released because the coaches feel covered right now, but crucially, they're on standby.
Yeah, that standby status is important. And the coach made it clear it's all based on assessing depth and current form after week 1.
Exactly. And the immediate job for this group, get ready for the Babas, Italy and Georgia in June and July.
The article itself kind of posed the question, didn't it, about shock inclusions or exclusions. So maybe for you listening, what really jumped out?
Yeah, looking at that list, the ins and outs, the reasons.
Yeah.
Was there anyone you thought had to be there, or anyone you were surprised to see missing or released? What grabs your attention? It's always the big debate.
It really is. Everyone's got an opinion. And just thinking about that mix, the experienced guys, the new blood, like Venter, the guys on standby, it creates such an intense environment. So here's a final thought for you, building on all this.
Okay.
Given how squad selection works, injuries popping up, needing to test guys against different teams in these early games, just how fierce do you reckon the fight for places in that match day 23 is going to be over the next month or so?
Oh, intense. Every training run, every minute on the pitch, it all counts massively.
That national setup, it's never still, is it? Players always proving themselves.
Always.
Yeah.
Part of what makes it so fascinating to follow.
Definitely. Well, that brings us to the end of this Rugby Obsession deep dive into the Springbok squad announcement. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Always good to talk Bokke Rugby.
And one last time, make sure you're subscribed to Rugby Obsession wherever you get your podcasts so you catch all our analysis. We really look forward to you listening to our next episode.